Parashat Vayetzei Tufshi and Payai. B'siyata d'shmaya. In the beginning of the Parashat we see that Yaakov Avinu left Be'er-Sheva and he went to Ahron because his father and his mother sent him over there. He should go look for a shidduch. One of the daughters from Luban he should take to be his future wife. B'siyata d'shmaya. Shkoyach. And Yaakov Avinu first went for 40 years. He was by Shem Ve'ever and he was Oisik in Torah. He was learning for 14 years Eitzel Shem Ve'ever, by Shem Ve'ever. Now the question is, Yaakov was already 63 years old and he had learned already his whole life. Yaakov Ishtam Yoshev Holim, we see last week's Parashat. He learned by his father Yitzchok. He also learned by Shem Ve'ever. Yoshev Holim, Shem Ve'ever. Now his father sends him to go and he should have chasana. He should go and find his shidduch. And he goes for 40 years and he's hidden by Shem Ve'ever and he learns over there again Torah. Wasn't he already enough Talmud Chuchem in order to be able to get chasana? So they say in the name of the Ostrov Tzerebe. They also say in the name of Agur of Yankov Kamenetsky, Zitzal, that both of them said the Gewaldige Yesod. Yankov had learned Torah, how it is to be a Jew, an Ehrliche Jew, a Haredi Jew, when you live in Eretz Yisrael, close to his father Yitzchok, in a generation, in a community that is everything is Ovda Hashem, Ehrliche Yidden. Now he knows he's heading to Chodan. He's going to where Luban lives. The whole community over there, Ovda Aveira, Ovda Avodah Zura. He has to take extra strength how to deal with such a, how to stay in his madrege, even he's going to be surrounded with so many bad people. So he went again to Shem Ve'ever. Shem Ve'ever were the ones, Shem survived the Doira Mabul, he knew the Doira Mabul, and Ever was in the time of the Doira Fluge. So those were two generations that were Ovda Aveira. And they stayed Ehrlich, they stayed over the Hashem, they were strictly Ehrliche Yidden. So Yaakov went again for 40 years to Shem Ve'ever. They should teach him how he should stay an Ehrliche Yid, even by being next to Luban. He should be able to say when he comes back, I'm Luban Garti. I lived there for 40 years, and as Rashi quotes next week, what's Garti? Taryag. Taryag mitzvah Shemarti. I still kept all the 630 mitzvahs. And that's why it's not even a problem. He had the tzivi of Kibbutz Avuhem to go there, to go to Huron. And why did he go first 40 years to Shem Ve'ever? So Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky gives a nice mushal. If a father tells his child, he should go and buy him an estrik, a kosher, nice estrik. Now the boy, the child, doesn't know yet all of the haluchas. What are the haluchas of a kosher estrik? So he can't go and buy. So he first goes to shul, and he sits down learning a few hours all the haluchas of a kosher estrik, and then he goes by. Is that considered that he pushed off the mitzvah of kibbutz av? Adarabah. He started right away off doing kibbutz av. What's the way? First he should know what he has to buy, and then he can go and buy a kosher estrik. So if he was sent by his father Yitzchok to go to Luban, he was sent there in order to get chasana, to have chasana over there, get married, and he should come back and Ehrliche Yid Yaakov. So he has to learn first how you stay over there. How you stay strictly an Ehrliche Yid, even though you're surrounded with so many bad people. So you have to go first to Shem Ve'ever. They should teach him how to be there, even in every situation, in every matzah. And that's what the Ostrovtze says. The Parashat Vayeshev, it says by Yosef. Yosef was a Ben Zikunim. So Rashi brings down a few pshatim of Ben Zikunim. One pshat is Kol B'Shalomad B'Shem Ve'ever Mosaloi. Whatever you learned from Shem Ve'ever, he gave over to Yosef. Only for Yosef he gave over? Didn't he teach all of his children Torah? And why only what he learned from Shem Ve'ever and what he learned from his father Yitzchok he didn't give over? So he explains Gewaldig. What he learned from Yitzchok, the whole Torah, he gave over to all of his children. What he learned from Shem Ve'ever, how to stay an Ehrliche Yid, even when you're surrounded with bad people, he knew B'riach HaKodesh that Yosef is going to be the one going down to Mitzrayim. So he has to know how to keep himself an Ehrliche Yid. So what he learned from Shem Ve'ever, those 14 years, That was what he gave over to his son Yosef. He should be able to keep himself even when he's going to be in a Mitzrayim and when he's surrounded with the bad Mitzrayim.
Let's say Torah, the Chuppah, and Torah. If you get married and you have all this up to you have 12 kids. And I said, this is my time to steig. Because once I get married, I have 12 kids. And I'm not going to have learning like this.
1 second, gewaldig. Buri gaat wat je nooit, alle jene melech, gewoelam, shaker, nie bedwoerai. Amen. The Bari is saying, they say it in the name of the Chidah. The Chidah brings down the Sefer Nachal Kedumim. He brings it down, I don't remember B'Shem whom, B'Shem someone before the Chidur. He brings down like this, that actually he was sent to go to Huram to get married, and he went first 40 years to Shem Ve'ever. Why? He explains like this. The Gemara brings the stire in a few places. Masechta Kiddushin, if a person should first learn Torah and then get married, or rather the opposite, first he should get married and then he should learn Torah, because Torah after you're married is a higher level. It's Torah b'tahara. It's a more pure Torah. On the other side, the Gemara says, if you are married already, you have Rechaim al Tzavoro, you have on your head that you have to bring Parnasseh, and it distracts you from being able to learn. So that's why Rechaim al Tzavoro, he can be Oisig B'Torah, he should first be Oisig B'Torah. The Gemara brings down a stira, and the Gemara says, it's no stira, it depends. Hu lam, v'halahu. Depends B'nai Eretz Yisrael and B'nai Bavel. And there's a few pshatim in the hu lam, v'halahu. Rabbi Nitam explains that B'nai Eretz Yisrael were rich. The Israeli people were more rich than the B'nai Bavel. So the Israeli B'nai Eretz Yisrael, they were rich. So they don't have such a problem of Parnasseh. So first they should get married, and then they could learn Torah, B'tahara, and they have Parnasseh. B'nai Bavel, they were poor, aniyim. So if they're going to have chasana first, and they're going to have an oila Parnasseh, it won't work out good. So that's where, so they won't be able to learn. So they should first be learning, and then they should get married. So says the Chidul Gevaldik. When Yaakov left his father Yitzchok, he was a rich boy. His father gave him along whatever he needed. So he could go and have chasana, and he's going to be able to be mamshech learning after the chasana. Yaakov felt he still has missing, he has to still learn a little bit. But once Eliphaz chased after him, and he took away all of his money, and he told him, even though your father told you, Esau told you should kill me, Ani Choshev Kemes. So that's why it's killing you when we came the tzivi of your father. And he was the Ani. He had no more money. He was poor. Now if he's going to go and have chasana, he won't be able to learn like it has to be. So he understood he still has to finish his learning. If he wants to learn 40 years B'Shem Ve'ever, and then he could go and have chasana. I want to say something that has with the end of the parsha, and then we're going to get back to the beginning of the parsha. The end of the parsha is where Yaakov is on his way back to Eretz Yisrael. It says in the Pasuk, when he's coming back to Eretz Yisrael, it says, V'Yaakov hulach ledarkoi. Yaakov was going on his way back to Eretz Yisrael. Vayivgu boy malachei Elokim. He, how do you say Vayivgu? He met up. He was Vayivgu boy. He encountered. They encountered him. Malachei Elokim. And when Yaakov saw them, he called the place Machanoim, 2 machnes of Maluchim. So they say in the name of Rabbi Pinchas Koritzer, Zeichet Tzadik Levrucha, a remez in this pasuk. A person shouldn't be looking out for madreges. Who wants to be a big bal madrege. That's a matona. If you get madreges, it's a matona that you got from Shamayim, from Hashem. We have to be avodim. We have to be servants. Serve Hashem as a eved. Avoidas oved. Serve him as a eved. The Apterov brings down in the Sefer Oyev Yisrael that tzaddikim, they really would want to stay their whole life avodim. Serve Hashem as a eved. Where iskafye means you have an isoyin, and every time you have to fight the Yitzchok. But Hashem wants them, they should come to a higher level. So He gives them madreges. It's a matona. So from now on, their avoidas matona, etnaski and aschem. They don't have such big nisyonis. This is what Hashem wants, so they take it. Because they also serve Hashem with this. But they really wouldn't want it. They would want to stay avodim nemonim to Hashem. Serving Him, fighting the Yitzchok day on, to goes, day and night. So he says like this, the Rabbi Pinchas Koritzer, that a person shouldn't have and make these cheshbonis. He should be only seeking to serve Hashem as it comes his way. And if Hashem wants to give him a matuna, he's going to get it. So he says, V'Yaakov hulach ledarkoi. Yaakov was going on his way. He wasn't looking for madreges, for maluchim. He was going on his way serving Hashem, derech ha'toyre v'amitzvahs. Vayivgu boy malach elikim. Suddenly, it encountered him, the malach elikim, all of the holy maluchim and the holy madreges encountered to him. But he wasn't looking for that. And he brings down the story in the Pinchas Kodesh. He says, there was once a Yid that was davening very much that he wants to have Ruach HaKodesh. And he was davening so much for Ruach HaKodesh, and at the end, his tefillah was accepted. But tefillah is semechze, only half. So he got the Ruach and he didn't get Kodesh. That was what he said. He got the Riach, that means he was, but he didn't get the Kodesh. So you don't have to be looking for Ruach HaKodesh. You have to do what you have to do. And we see it also at the beginning of the Parsha. Yaakov goes to sleep and he sees a silam mutzav arzo, v'roishem agiyah shemaymu. This shows the silam of Avodas Hashem. It's a very, very tall silam. Even if you go one step on the silam, you're already on your way up. There you go, another step, another step. If you want to give a jump, usually you fall down. But if you go step by step, they call it in English, slowly but surely. That's how you have to go. Hilichach tehei v'nachas, says the Toldos Yaakov Yosef. Your hiliche, we say it in the Zemiras from Shabbos. Your hiluch should be benachas, slowly. Hilichach tehei v'nachas. That's the way how it's Meshivas Nofesh.
One rung at a time.
One
rung at a time.
One rung at a time. Yeah, that's the right way how to do it. So Yaakov was going to the dark step by step. If Hashem wants in the middle that he should get a lot of madregas, so he's going to accept it, but that's not the dark that he was looking for. We see that the Pasuk mentions Yaakov went out from Be'er Sheva and he went to Choron. So the Pasuk mentions both Chalukim. He's going out from Be'er Sheva and he's walking, is arriving to Choron. Why? So they say in the name of the Beis HaLevi from Brisk, and also other Mefarshim say this. Sometimes when a person goes from one place to the other, the reason why he is going is because he has to be over there. He has a meeting over there. He has to go from Yerushalayim to Bnei Brak. He has to meet someone in Bnei Brak. So he's going away from Yerushalayim is not the purpose. The purpose is arriving to Bnei Brak. Sometimes a person has to run away. He's being chased after. He has to flee. He has no way. He's looking where to go. So he's going, let's say, to Bnei Brak or to Meron. His idea is not being there. His idea is to flee home, not to be at home, because he had a lot of redifis if he is at home. Over here by Yaakov, it was interesting because his father and his mother sent him away. Last week, it says in Pasuk, Vayishma Yaakov, El Ovi ve'el Imoy. What's the El Ovi ve'el Imoy? Pashtus? His father and his mother. But there were two reasons. Rochel Imenu, she knows that Esav wants to kill Yaakov, but she didn't tell Yitzchok. The Rechaim HaKodesh quotes last week, she didn't tell Yitzchok because of the issue of Lashon Hara. She understood that it won't be anything else by Yitzchok knowing that his Tachshet Esav wants to kill Yaakov. So she didn't tell him, but she wanted Yaakov should go away. So she came up with a solution. She told if her husband Yitzchok, Yaakov has to find the shidduch, send him to my brother Luvan, he's going to be a Choron. But by Rivka, the main reason was that Yaakov should flee away from Be'er Sheva. He shouldn't be over there shouldn't be next to Esav. Yitzchok didn't know that he has to run away. By him, the ikar reason was he should go over there and have chasana. Vayishma Yaakov el Ovi ve'el Imoy. The going away was the purpose, and the going to Choron was the purpose. Vayetzei Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva. Vayelech Harana. Two purposes was over here. By his going, every step that he was going, he was becoming further from Be'er Sheva, running away from Esav, and coming closer to Choron to getting married. So he was Mekayim, Kol Lovim and Kol Imay. By every step, he was Mekayim, Kibbut Av and Kibbut Em, going away further from Esav and getting closer to having Chasana. Now I saw in Sefer Dorash Moshe from Rav Moshe Feinstein Zitzal. He says that the Pasuk wants to teach us another Zach. Sometimes people could think that it's bashert. We know that everything is bashert, meaning, how do you say bashert in English? It's what?
Meant to be.
Meant to be, gewaldig, meant to be. Everything is meant to be from Hashem. Now, sometimes a person could think only the major thing, the tachlis, the purpose, but all of the steps in between, who says that this is everything meant to be exactly how it is? Lemushel. When a person is going to look for a shidduch, Yaakov was going for a shidduch. You could say his going to Haran was meant to be exactly, he should be in Haran, getting married to the daughters of Lavan, Leah, Ruchel. But on the way, that's only a hechetimtze to get there, but there's no tachlis in every psiyah, in every step that he is going and he's arriving to Haran. The Torah teaches us no. Everything is meant to be b'hashgacha pratis from Hashem. Not only the tachlis, just every step. Vayetzei Yaakov beBeersheva, Vayeilech Haran. By going to Haran, every step, there was an avodah. Yaakov was serving Hashem with every step that he was doing. Vayeilech Haran. We have to know this regarding everything. First, I want to say that I once saw the Ben Yehoyada. The Ben Ish Chai has a sefer Ben Yehoyada Masechta Brachos. He brings down that the Gemara in the beginning of Masechta Brachos brings down a story. Tanya, Rabbi Yossi said, "Pam achas yisi mahalach b'derech." Once I was walking b'derech, and I had to stop to daven, and I was afraid maybe people are going to disturb me while I'm davening. So I found a churva over there. So I went into the churva and I davened over there. It's all like Gemara Barichis, but the Gemara, I'm only going to quote the chelik that's negayah to what we are talking now. Eliyahu Yanovi came there and he was standing outside the churva, waiting. Rabbi Yossi should finish davening. And he came out. Eliyahu Yanovi asked Rabbi Yossi, "Why did he go into the churva daven? Why didn't you daven over here, in the middle of the road?" Because on a churva you shouldn't go in, because it's a sakana. Mazikin could be there. So Rabbi Yossi answers him, "Misyara yisi shema yafsikini oivre derochem." I was afraid that people that they go through over here, they're going to disturb me in the middle of davening. They're going to be me mafsik. So shema yafsikuni oivre derochem. So the Ben Ish Chai, the Ben Yehoyada says, why does he start ba'amachas yisi mahalech b'derech? He calls himself a hoylech b'derech. And when he says, I was afraid I'm going to be disturbed, I'm going to be bothered, he says, Shema yafsikini oivrei deruchim. Over you say hoylchei deruchim, over you say oivrei deruchim. So he explains the Gewaltige Yisoid. It has to do to what we spoke before. Oivrei deruchim means the person that he knows he has to get somewhere. And the whole way that he is going, it's just it's just a way how to be able to get there, but it's no tachlis every step in what he is doing. If a person is a hoylech derochem, he knows every psiyah, every step. He has like a purpose by arriving there, but there's also a purpose every psiyah that he is going. A person that's a hoylech b'derech, if he sees someone davening in the middle, he won't pass by, even though maybe you're in a rush. You have something very, very important, but there's something important now too. By every step that I'm doing, I'm serving Hashem, and now serving Hashem means not to go and to wait till this person finishes davenings. So if there would be hoylchei deruchim, I would be able to daven outside on the road. Those people that they only want to arrive there. The whole derech is only a ma'avar. It's only to jump it over and get to the place where I want to be. So those people won't have the time and they won't wait, and maybe they're going to disturb me. So Rabbi Yossi calls himself mahalach b'derech because he was hoylchei deruchim, and he's afraid that he's going to be disturbed by the oivre deruchim. And this is what we have to know. Sometimes a person waits for a Yeshua, for a salvation. He needs a shidduch. He's waiting for a refuah. He's waiting to a deal should go through. He should have money. He should be able to live. And he's waiting long, and he's doing all of the ishtadlus, and it takes time. It could have taken a week, and sometimes it takes maybe 5 months. And people look at it. Sometimes they could look at it as a wasted time. This few months it was wasted. The ikar was that I got to the tachlis. It's not wasted time. Everything had the matura. Every minute that it took you to get there is also a part of the tachlis. Everything is meant to be bashguche prutis. And even when you're looking to reach, to achieve a madrege in Torah mitzvahs and avodas Hashem, and you fight on the way with the Yitzchok until you achieve it, anything that you want to achieve in Ruchnius, is also, all of the steps is part of the Avodas Hashem that you have to do in order to get there. It could be sometimes quick, it could take time, but you shouldn't look at it as wasted time and it's only a way, an opportunity how to get there. It's a tachlis for itself.
I think that's why they were showing Malachim. Malachim were whole concept.
Very nice.
That's not our avoda.
Said that Malachim, that's why they're oimdim. And we are holchim. The whole time we're getting closer and closer and closer. Yeah. Yaakov goes to sleep and he sees this big cholam. He sees the sulam mitzav arzo v'roisha magia hashemoimu. As we spoke before, a ladder. It's a mitzav arzu, roisha magia hashemoimu, malach alekim oilim v'yordim boy. Now we see in the Medrashim a lot of things. What he was shown over there by this cholam, by this dream. What the silam, to what does it refer? What does it? How do you say it? Resemble? No.
Resemble.
Resemble, yeah, is that correct? What does it resemble, the silam? We see a lot of, I want to quote what I saw in the Sefer Zera Shimshon. The holy Zera Shimshon brings down on this pasuk that when Yaakov gets up from his dream, he says, Ma noira amokai mazeh. Ein zeh ki beis elikim. It's so, how do you say noira in English?
Awesome.
Awesome. How awesome is this holy place? Ein zeh ki beis elikim. This is nothing other than a beis elikim v'zeh shara shemayim. So the Zera Shimshon says, why did he say in such a way? Ein zeh ki beis elikim. He's saying clearly in the negative. This is nothing else, only the Beis Elikim. He should say, Zeh Beis Elikim. This is the Beis Elikim. The word Ein and the two words Ki'im is l'choire extra. He shouldn't have said Ein Zeh Ki'im Beis Elikim. He should say Zeh Beis Elikim. That's what the Zera Shimshon asks. And the holy Zera Shimshon answers. And he's also asking, what's the Lashon Ma Noira? Ma Noira means to say, it's very awesome. Pachat Ma. Ma is kilu afloge. Beyoyser. He brings down that the B'si Yosef brings B'shem Aguis Mordche and Ilches Tisha B'Av, that there are people that Tisha B'Av at night, when they go to sleep, they put a stone behind their head. The remez is, for the Pasik, in this week's Parsha, Vayikach Ma'avnei Amokoim. Yaakov Avinu, when he went to sleep, he took Ma'avnei Amokoim, and the Medrash says that he saw over there the Beis HaMikdash, because it says, Ma Noira Amukim Hazeh, he saw the Chorban. That, and because he saw them the Chorban, that's why we should also take a stone and lie on a stone on Tisha B'Av at night. Now the Medrash also brings down what he saw over there by this Cholan. The Medrash brings over there, this is the Lashon, that Hashem showed him the whole Beis HaMikdash. Silam refers to the Kevesh. Mitzav Arzo, this is the Mizbeach. Mizbach Adom Tasali, so that's Mutzav Arzo. Roisha Magia Hashemayim, those are the Karbonos. Malach Elikim, those are the Kehanim, that they do the Avoide on the Mizbeach. So one of the Pshatim the Medrash brings down is that he was shown over there the Avoide in the Beis HaMikdash, the Mizbeach, and the whole Avoide of the Beis HaMikdash. Now, he asked the Zera Shimshon, but who told for the Aguas Mordche that he was shown the Churban? The Medrash brings down that he saw over there the avoid of the Beis HaMikdash, the Mizbeach and the avoid, but who says that he saw the Chorban? So he says, Gevaldik the Zera Shimshon. In these words we see that he saw the Chorban. Why? Because in the beginning he takes the Pasuk and he splits it into three. He says like this, the Zera Shimshon. Ma noira amukim hazeh. This refers to the Beis HaMikdash that Yaakov Avinu saw. Ma noira amukim hazeh. It's so awesome, this place. And right afterwards he says, Ein zeh. I don't see it anymore. It's gone. I don't see the Beis HaMikdash. And when do I see it again? The third Beis HaMikdash that's going to be built by Hashem. Ki'im Beis HaLekim. The one that's going to be Beis HaLekim, the one that's going to be created by Hashem. The Mikdash HaShlishi that's going to be Bonu, Umashuchlal, and it's going to come down from Shemayim. This is the one that's going to have Akiyim.
And it's never going to be destroyed.
This is the Beis HaLekim. But I also see that in all matzuvim, in all situations, Over here is going to be the Shara Shomayim, where all tefillahs are going to go up. Like we know from Chazal, the Medrash says, Ma'olam lezaz hashchina mekois lamaruvi, that the kois lamaruvi always is over there, Ashuras hashchina, and it's the Shara Shomayim. So Lefi zeh, the Zer Hashem says, from here Dagu Esmot Chetuk, that he saw the Chorban. He says in the beginning, Ma noiro amukai mazeh. I see over here the Beis Hamikdash, it's awesome. But then I see Einzeh, and it doesn't have a Kiyim, it's going to be a Chorban. And what do I see? What's going to have a Kiyim? Kiyim Beis Alekim. But in all cases, was there Shara Shomayim, over here the Shara Shomayim. We speak about the Silam. There's so many remozim on what the Silam refers. I saw once in the Sefer Ateres Yishiyah, from Reb Shia Lejikivir, he brings down that he once dreamt. This is also a dream. And he dreamt once on Shabbos Parashat Vayetzei that Sulam is Rosh Tevis Samech Mesechtois Lilmoid. The 60 Mesechtes of Shas, we have to learn it. Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid. That's the whole Shisha Sidra Mishnah. We can understand it. I think he also brings it down. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnosoy, he got up from his sleep. The Medrash says he shouldn't say Mishnosoy, elo mi Mishnosoy. From his learning. He got up from his learning. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnosoy, mi Mishnosoy from his learning. Because Yaakov was so dwelling in learning that even when he slept, 40 years he didn't lie down. Only here's the first time. Vayishkav b'moker mahi. It's now the first time that he lied down. So Yaakov, the first time lying down after 40 years, what is he sleeping? He's learning in his sleep. Mimishnosoi. I once saw of the tzaddik Reb Meshilim Rat. Says a gewaltige Zach, Mishnosoi. Why do Chazal say Mimishnosoi? Why can't you say normally, Vayikatz Yaakov, he woke up Mishnosoi from his sleep? Says a gewaltige Zach, Shino, sleeping, is a header. It's not a metzias. It's a, how do you say header in English? It's a noun. It's not a
verb. Passive.
Again?
Is it passive?
Passive. There's a metzias, a yesh, and there's a ayin. Nothing.
A lack.
A lack. Oh. Sleeping is a lack. It's not a pa'ula that you do. It's like a header, a lack. So how could you consider a lack to a person? Mishnosoi, his sleep. With what is the sleep his? How is he koine the sleep? It should have said Vayikatz Yaakov Mashina. He got up from his sleep. What's Mishnosoi? You call it his sleep. But what is it? His, the vav. So that's why Chazal say Mishnosoi. From his learning. Learning, that's considered the person's. It's his Torah. If it's a Rasoi, it's his Torah. He's learning the Torah. That's Mishnosoi. So we see over here again to the Ateres Yeshua. Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid. And we don't have to jump to finish the whole Shas. It's a big gewaldige avoide. When we start learning the first Mesechta Mishnayis, we're already on the first step. And we have to look at ourselves by learning the first Mesechta Mishnayis, the first Mesechta Gemara, starting the first daf of the Gemara. I'm already on this ladder. True. There is thousands and thousands of steps, but a step at a time, taking a Perik Mishnayis at a time, a Blad Gemura, Daf Gemura at a time, and I'm already holding on this gewaltige Silam of Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid, that it's Mutzav Arzo, it starts from the ground, but V'roishem Agiyah Shomayim. I also saw once that the holy originator says, he says a remez in Silam, that it refers to the seed of Malava Malke. And he says, Sulam is Rosh Tevis, Seudas Levoyes Malkese. The Suda of being Malava. How do you say in English Malava?
Accompanying, escorting.
Escorting. Oh, accompanying, escorting. Malava Levoyas Malkese. To be Malava the Malke. That's Sulam. So the region says, Mutzav Arzo. You look at it as if it's Mutzav Arzo because you do the Sida by eating, drinking. Arzies, Gashmi is the Gezachen. But truly, it arrives, it goes up, it chuckles. The roishoy of this silo mitzvah arze magia shamayim till hashamayim. When a malach alekim oilim v'yordim boy. He explains that everybody has a neshama during the week, and you have a neshama yeseda on Shabbos. On every Friday, the regular neshama goes away, and the neshama yeseda comes in. And on Motzei Shabbos, we are escorting the Neshama Yeseda, and the regular Neshama during the week is coming back. So Malach Elakim, the holy neshama is oilim. First the neshama Yesayid is going up. The Yordim boy and the regular neshama comes back. That's when? By the seed of Malava Malke. Sulam, Sudas Levoyes Malkese, that's when Malach Elakim al oilim by Yordim boy. I once said from the Beyan Rebbe Shlita that it's not only Marimas in the Sulam, we could see it Marimas in the Parashat also of the beginning. Vayetzei Yaakov mibein Shova refers when a Yid goes out from Shabbos. Be'er Shuvah is considered Shabbos. Shabbos is the 7th day, and Shabbos is the Be'er, is the Mayam, the well, the well of the Shefa. The whole Shefa of the week is from Shabbos. When a person goes out from Be'er Shova, the well of Shabbos, Vayelech Chorono, what approaches him? What comes to him? Chorono, that's the Yemoy Sachoil, Charoi Naf, as the Rechaim HaKudish quotes. Chorono is the remes for Charoi Naf. We start right away Motzei Shabbos. V'yirachim mechaper ovoin, v'hir b'lo hoshiv apoi, v'lo yoyer kol chamosoi. The Af B'cheim are coming against us during the week. So Vayelech Chorono, the Charoi Naf comes. What's the Eitzah? Vayivga b'mokoim. First, we should be davening. We should daven for the week that it should be with a lot of atzlocha. Tzadikim said on the posik, Al zois yispal kol chosid elecha le'eis mitzoi. Every chosid should daven to you for the eis mitzoi. So the Gemara has a lot of pshat to what's eis mitzoi. Shidduch, matzah isha, matzah toiv, le'eis mitzoi means a shidduch, other pshatim. But tzadikim said le'eis mitzoi refers to matzah Shabbos. When the Shabbos goes out, le'eis mitzoi, we should be davening and asking Hashem that the Ashpua of the Shabbos, the chef of Shabbos, should stay within us till the next week. So Vayiv Gabamokoim, Yaakov makes a tefillah over there and he davens, and then is the Hemshech, the Sulam, the Sidas Levoyes Malkese, it's Mutzav Arzo, Varoisha Magia Shemaimu, and the Malach Elakim, the both Neshumas, exchange them. The Malach, the regular Neshuma comes back and the Neshuma Yesayid goes up till next week. Shabbos, that's when it comes back. Yaakov, after this gewaltige Cholen, he arrives to Choron, and he sees over there the shepherds sitting and waiting to give to drink for the sheep. And he wants to start the conversation with them, and he starts off and he tells them, Achai, ma'ayin atem, from where are you? So they tell him, Mechuran anochni. Then he asks them if they know Luvam. They tell him, yeah, we know him. Then he goes and he tells them, hey, no, there's still a lot of time. Why are you sitting over here with how do you call it, with
arms crossed?
Yeah, arms crossed. You should be working now. You're probably getting paid for the whole day. It's still early in the day. It's not the time now to collect all the sheep, the mikne, hashkuat, so you give them to drink, and go on. You have to give them to eat for the tzoy, for the sheep. Until they explained to him that the reason is because they have to wait. There should be a lot of shepherds, all of the royim, and they have to take down the big stone that's on the be'er. So they say in the name of the Ponevisherov, it's a known word. Yaakov is just there for a few seconds, and he starts giving missive. What's going on with you? Hey, no, dayon godoil, lo yesa osef amikne, hashku atzoyne lechureu, and they still even answer him nicely. What the reason? How did it? They should have told him, could you hit the road? I don't know. Right? What do you want from our life here? If the stranger arrives and he has to say dayis, the Bonnegerov says, he started off by saying, Achai, my brothers. Achai ma'ayinatem. That's how he started off the conversation. You're my brother, from where are you? Yeah, from Churan. Once the conversation starts off with brothers, with ahava, with love, and you give the person a good feeling, then you can ask whatever, because he understands that when you ask, you're not meaning to tease him, you're just meaning the good, you want to understand. If you start off with giving a compliment, Achai ma'ayinatem, then you could go ahead and you could ask him whatever you want. The Pasuk says, Yaakov arrived to Luvan's house, and he wanted to get married to Ruchel, So he made up with him that he's going to work 7 years to marry his daughter Ruchel. So the pasuk says first, the eine leo rakois, for Ruchel lois v'yefas toya v'yefas mare. The eyes of Leah were rakois. How do you say rakois? Soft, red-eyed, because she was
tender eyes.
Tender eyes. And why was it rakois? So Rashi says because all the people were saying the Hagdoila Legot, the big girl of Lavan is going to be marrying Esav. Vaktan Lekot, and the small one is going to marry Yaakov. So she didn't want to marry Esav. She was crying the whole time. And Ruchel, on the other hand, was always happy. Now, the Gemara asks in Masechta Bava Basra, how could it be that the Torah should speak about Laya something negative, such a tzedekis, and we say about her, her eyes were tender eyes? The Gemara answers that the reason was, as we said now, Rashi brings down, she was crying that she shouldn't have to marry Esav. But the kasha is still there. And we know the reason why she was crying, but still, it's a genus. It's not a mala that her eyes were tender, rakois. And the Gemara even says, we see that the Torah is so makbet to speak nice, that once the Torah is ma'akim 8 letters, not to say a dover megina. In Parashat Noach, instead of saying asabeimu atmeyu, it says asher anenu tohoyred. It's not tohoyred. It doesn't say tomeyu. Why? Because the Torah wants to teach us how you should watch your language, and you should have a nice language, and rather say einenu tohoyred than saying tomei. And I've heard the pasuk says ve'einelei rakos. But that's what the Gemara answers. And what's the pshat? So I saw the gewaldige pshat. The Chassam Sofer brings down a chiddush, a Masechta Sik. The Chiddush Chassam Sofer, it brings down that a esrik, even though a esrik that's a menumer is not kosher, but a esrik that's being b'meshach the Yom Tov Sikis, it gets, how do you call it, by touching a lot and squeezing it, it gets bruised, they call it. Yeah? A bruised esrik. It's not a problem of pre-Eitz Hodor, even though it's Nechoire. If you would start over the Yom Tov Sukkos with such a esrik, it's a chisorn. It's not a pre-Eitz Hodor. But if it happened b'meshach the Yom Tov by holding the esrik and doing naniyim with the esrik and saying howl with the esrik and being happy with Hashem by holding the Dalad Minim, all of those bruises are not a chisorn. Adarabah, says the Chassam Sofer. That makes it for a more hodor. That's a nice esrik. Ze hoida v'ze hadora, from the esrik, the hoid v'hodor, that Yidden took it and they were menay neya and they did the mitzvah of Dalad Minim with this lilav and esrik. So lefi this Chassam Sofer, you can explain this ve'einelei rakos. If a person has tender eyes, it's not a chisorn. But this is what the Gemara answers. How could it be the Torah should say a negative thing, a dover megina? But if the Gemara answers that the reason why it was tender, before she wasn't tender eyes, the reason why it became so because she was crying, that's considered beautiful eyes. That's considered nice eyes because she did it for a mitzvah. And that's why the Targum Inkelis says on the Eine Leio Rakois, the Eine Leio Yuayon. They were nice. Beautiful. How could you say a rakos? Yuayon, nice, but after we know the reason why they were rakos, she was crying not to have to marry Esav. That's a hoid v'hodor that she had this gewaltige havana and the gewaltige rotzoin not to have to marry Esav, and she was crying for that the whole time. I saw from the Kamarne the gewaltige word. Rabbi Yitzchok from Kamarne brings down in the Sefer Heichel HaBroche a tremendous gematria. The pasuk says, Yaakov wanted to work for Lavan 7 years in order to marry Ruchel. It says like this: Vayavoid Yaakov berochel sheva shonim, vayiyu be'einov ki yomim achodim ba'avosei oisa. Because he loved her, he liked her so much, it was be'im ki yomim achodim, like a few days. He brings down that Yaakov Avini, we see in this week's Parashat that he was Mesaken Tfilas Arvis. Yeah, Vayivka Bamokoim, he was Mesaken Tfilas Arvis. But in Medrash, in Parashat Vayechi, in Medrash Rabbe, is brought down the Lashon that Yaakov, he made the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. Kriyas Shema, Shachris and Arvis, we have from Yaakov, he was the first. And we know the Gemara, it's a Gemara in Peirik Mokim Shano Agu, in Masech the Psochim. It's also a Medish over there, that when Yaakov Avinu called all of his children, and he wanted to be Megala the Achris Hayomim, he asked for V'agido Lachem, Eis Asher Yikra Eschem Achris Hayomim, the Shechina went away, Nistalka Man Shechina, and Yaakov was afraid, and he said, maybe there's a Psil Bebonai. Maybe the reason why the Shechina went away from me, because one of the children, or a few of them, aren't how they should be, aren't Beseder. So they all of them cried out together, all of the children, and they said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And they referred Yisrael to the Father. Our Father Yisrael, listen. Kishem she'ein belibcha Elo Echad. Like in your heart, there's only Hashem Echad. Kach ein belibeinu Elo Echad. We only have Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. We only have one. So that was when Yaakov answered, that he said, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchis Elohim Buet. The Gemara then goes on, and the Gemara says what we should do. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he gives us Shema Yisrael and Parashat Bu'ez Chanan, he doesn't say Baruch Shem. He says Shema Yisrael Echad ve'ahavta. But we know that Yaakov did say before Baruch Shem. How should we do? So that's why the Gemara brings the Pshara. We say it quietly. We don't say it out loud. We say it quiet because Moshe didn't say it. But the beginning of Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem was Yaakov with his children. Before Yaakov was Nifter, he gave us tools. He knew that his children are going to go down to Mitzrayim. How we should be able to keep ourselves in Mitzrayim and the whole keep of the Golos. Like he made the Tfilas Arvis, that's in the Choshech, in the Arvis, he was Mesakim, Vayivga B'mokoim and Tfilah, that we should make and that should keep Klal Yisrael and the Matzah when it's dark, it's Choshech, it's Arvis, it's Erbuvye, it's confusing, everything is confusing, and should be able to daven to Hashem. That's the Koyach of Yaakov, Vayivga B'mokoim. He also made the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. And the Medrash even quotes the Lashon, that Klal Yisrael and all the generations, when they get up in the morning and at night they say Shema Yisrael, it refers Shema Yisrael Avinu Mima'aras HaMachpelah. Yaakov Avinu, that you're lying Mima'aras HaMachpelah, listen to what we are saying. We still have your koyach, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. So Yaakov was the one that made this Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. The Kamarni goes and he says, Yaakov was going to have Chassan over here. Oh, the Chadish Shurim says that when Yaakov took the stones and he put them around his head, there's a machloikis in Medrash how many stones he took. One man, the Umar says he took 12 stones because he knew B'riach HaKodesh that is going to be man with 12 Shvatim. So he took 12 stones, put them around his head. The Chadish Shurim says that the 12 stones are the 12 words. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchisoy La'ilam Bu'ed. Those 12 words. This is what he took around his head. It was like Kriyas Shema before you go to sleep. Akoyre Kriyas Shema al Mitosoi. But more than that, he was approaching, going to Ahron to have chasana, to get married and be mamid. Told us the Yid Beis Shiftekah, the 12 Shvatim. So when he goes and he tells Lavan, I want to marry your daughter Ruchel, he was always waiting how to serve Hashem, to bring down the 12 neshumas, the Shiftekah, they should be serving Hashem, Shema Yisrael. Says the Kamar, the Gevaldik, if you're going to make the Gematria of this posik, Vayavoid Yaakov Berochel Sheva Shonim, Vayiu Be'enov Kiyomim Achodim Be'avosoi Oiso, this whole posik is Begematria, 2,476. Exact. The same like Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchis Elohim Bu'ed. Yaakov was working 7 years to marry Ruchel, but what did he have in mind? Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchis Elohim Bu'ed. Maybe we have to finish already, so I'm going to just finish with this Seforne. No, I want to say a Seforne and a Sefer Chasidim. The Sforne brings down a gewaltige Sache. In the end of the Parsha, after Yaakov and Lavan were departing, they were, how do you say Preda? They were separating one of the other. It says, Vayashkem Lavan ba'boiker, Vayenashik Levonov Levnoisov, he kissed his daughters and his children. His children means his Einiklech, Riva, Shimon, Levi. Vayevorech Esem, he blessed them. And then he went back to his home. Why does the Torah have to tell us that Lavan blessed his children? Vayevorech esem, he blessed his einiglich. Gewaldig. Leah Rochel, the two tzitkoriois, got a brocha from the father Lavan, and the einiglich Riva Shimon got a brocha from the Zaydi Lavan. It's a gewaldige gedilla. Says the Sforne gewaldige Werte. The Sforne says like this. We know that Chazal say, Alti birchas hedyet kala beinecha. Even a brocha from a hedyet shouldn't be kala beinecha. It shouldn't be easy. We could never know. Even more than that, he says. That the Torah wants to tell us, Sipe, the Torah tells us, birchas loven levnoisov lehoirois, to teach us, shebirchas u'av, asher hi albonov, the brucha that a father gives his children, or a Zayde gives his einiglich, bechol nafshoi, he gives it with his whole nefesh, beli sofik, ro shetochel yoise. Without any doubt, it has a gewaldige power to be chal. Because it's a broche that a father gives his children a Zayde to the einiglich. Because it's from the depth of his heart. He gives the broche not only with the words, he gives it from the depth of his heart. And that's why it has a gewaldige koich to be chal. So the Torah wants to teach us. Lovan, he's take a Rosh, Lovan. He has a Tzelem Elikim, says the Sforne. He has a Tzelem Elikim, and he gives a brocha from the depth of his heart. It has a gewaltige koich shetochel yoyset sherav achalois, because it's a brocha that comes from oimek hanefesh. That's when a father gives. Sometimes the father could think, I could give a brocha to my children. I'm not a big tzaddik. Could be. Could be if you want to give a brocha to someone else, and you don't feel you're in such a madrege that you can give it from the depth of your heart, so take, maybe you're not the one to give a brocha. But for your own children, for your own einiglich, who then, if not the father or the Zayde, should give a brocha? It's from the depth of your heart. If Lovan's brocha, the Torah could quote, Vayevorech esem, even Shimon Levi got a brocha from the Zayde Lovan. It's so gewaltig. So no one of us is worse, Chad V'Shulam, so for sure how gewaltig our brucha could be. I once said of someone, why do we see that people, when it comes that a person gives them a klala, how do you say a klala? Curses them. We are afraid, Chad V'Shulam. But when a person gives you a brucha, you don't take it so serious as a curse. A curse you take more serious. He answered, because usually a curse is from the depth of the heart. And the bruch is menasofa velachitz. So that's why we have to see that when we give a bruche, if chaz v'shalom we shouldn't give a curse, but if it comes out to be with a sofa velachitz, not from the heart. But a bruche should be ma'oimek alev, should be with the whole rotzen. Because when you give a bruche with the rotzen and you have a tzelem elikim, it has a gewaltige power to be chal. And I wanted to finish with just this Sefer Chasidim. Sefer Chasidim says a gewaltige Sach. It says like this in Sefer Chasidim. Hinei matoivim anoim sheves achim gam yochad. Zog the Sefer Chasidim. Those two words, achim gam, are begematria 102, like the word bonim. Achim gam is begematria bonim. That's how it says in Sefer Chasidim, Simeshiyim em gimel. So there's a parish on the Sefer Chasidim from the Chizuk. His parish is called Bris Avois. He brings down a gewaltige Sache over there, the Chizuk in his parish, that a person should see that he shouldn't be hard, how do you call it, heavy. He shouldn't be heavy on his big children. Bonav Agdoilim, he should not be machbid oil al Bonav Agdoilim, elu yachshivem ka'achem. He should refer to them as to his brothers. And in that way, they're going to be noichim zeim zeh, and he's going to live with his children b'shalva. And he brings down the Chidah Arai from this week's Parsha. It says in Posik that Yaakov called, it says, Vayoyme Yaakov le'echov likti avonim. They should gather stones and make a gal. Who is Echov? Rashi says, Hein Bonov. They were his children. And why does he call them Echov? Because they were like brothers to him. When he was an Eist Chore, when he needed to go out to Melchumah, they were like brothers to him. So we see from this Rashi that Yaakov Avini called his children Echov. Zog the Chizuk that this is what the Sefer Chasidim meant. When the children are small, you have to be able to give them a petchele, a fiver sometimes if you need. Maybe you shouldn't give it in the face, you can give it in the feet. But they have to know, you have to know of giving them a small punishment in order they should be good. But once they are big, the children, adrabbe. Be machshav your children like they are your brothers, and that's the remez of Achim Gam. Hine matoivim anoim sheves. If you want to have a toiv and a noim sheves, Achim Gam Yochad, your children should be considered like your brothers, and that's in that way you're going to have a peaceful life. B'shiyata d'shmaya, Git Shabbos, Git Shabbos.